Welcome to Therapy by Choice podcast. I'm host Robyne Vance, and today we're diving into something that touches all of us at some point, often more than once: adversity. So, what exactly is adversity? At its core, adversity is anything that disrupts your sense of stability, safety, or control. It's the pressure that pushes you beyond your limits, the challenge that makes your usual coping skills and strategies feel like they're falling short. Adversity can hit suddenly or creep in slowly. It can be obvious or hidden beneath the surface. And while most people think about adversity as big, dramatic life events, many of the most challenging kinds are quiet, chronic, and easily dismissed, even by ourselves. In this episode, I'll explore 5 key types of adversity that mental health professionals see all the time: emotional, mental, physical, financial, and social. I'll unpack how each shows up, why it's damaging, and most importantly, how you can build resilience in the face of each. So let's get into it. I want to start off with emotional adversity, which is one of the most misunderstood forms. It involves ongoing pain, distress, or instability in our emotional world. It's often the kind of suffering that gets minimized or invalidated even by the people experiencing it. Clinicians frequently encounter this type of adversity and clients who struggle with feelings of chronic loneliness, unresolved grief, or patterns of rejection and abandonment that have never been fully addressed. Unlike trauma from a single event, emotional adversity tends to build up over time. Imagine someone who grew up with parents who were emotionally unavailable. Outwardly, the family may seem fine, but affection was rare, and showing vulnerability might have been met with silence or dismissal. Over time, this person learns to hide their feelings, internalize shame, or push themselves to be perfect as a way to gain approval. These patterns quickly shape how they relate to themselves and others, often setting the stage for anxiety, depression, or difficulty forming close connections later in life. One of the first steps towards healing emotional adversity is simply recognizing and naming it. It's common for most people to dismiss their own pain because it doesn't look like the big trauma or because someone else's struggles may seem worse. But emotional pain doesn't need permission to be real. Developing emotional regulation skills, whether through therapy focused on attachment, expressive writing, or finding safe spaces to be vulnerable, helps you reclaim your emotional truth. Building relationships where you feel genuinely seen and accepted can be transformative, breaking long-standing cycles of isolation and self-doubt. Next up, I want to talk about mental adversity. Now, when we talk about mental adversity, we're looking at the cognitive and psychological challenges that interfere with clear thinking, decision-making, or emotional balance. Mental health professionals often see this as persistent anxiety, depressive thoughts, executive functioning, or mental exhaustion that wears people down over time. I want you to think about a parent who's juggling multiple jobs, household duties, and emotional labor, all while trying to maintain composure. Their brain is constantly on overdrive, switching from task to task, problem solving, and managing crises. Eventually, the cognitive system overloads, leading to forgetfulness, irritability, or that foggy, overwhelmed feeling where even the small tasks feel monumental. This mental adversity signals that the brain's bandwidth has been maxed out, and not that the person is weak or lazy. The best way to manage mental adversity is through external supports that lighten the cognitive load. Things like checklists, reminders, and routines reduce decision fatigue, allowing the mind to conserve energy for what matters the most. And at the same time, it's vital to cut through self-criticism. So often, We blame ourselves for, quote, not trying hard enough when our brains simply need a break. Therapy, especially cognitive behavioral approaches, can help identify and reframe unhelpful thought patterns, like catastrophizing or all or nothing thinking, that keep mental adversity in place. And I do have an episode about unhelpful thinking styles, so go ahead and make sure to check that out. Allowing yourself permission to slow down, prioritize rest, and accept imperfection isn't giving up, it's survival. Physical adversity. Now, physical adversity encompasses any condition that disrupts your bodily health or autonomy. Something like illness, injury, chronic pain, disability, or even ongoing fatigue and hormonal imbalances. And while many people view physical health separate from mental health, professionals know they're deeply intertwined. Picture someone recovering from a major illness. Their body might be healing, but emotionally they may be drained, disconnected from who they once were, or question their self-worth. Or consider a person living with chronic pain. On the outside, they may seem fine, but inside, the constant physical struggle erodes patience, mood, and mental resilience. Managing physical adversity is a dual effort. Medical care and advocacy are essential, but so is emotional support. Grieving the loss of a formal normal or redefining strength away from pushing through pain towards honoring the body's limits is crucial. Movement, when safe, can also be healing, helping you reconnect with your body not as an adversary, but as a source of presence and capability. Supporting someone in physical adversity means recognizing the courage it takes just to show up, rather than expecting them to pretend it's easy. Next up, I want to talk about financial adversity. Financial adversity is often misunderstood simply as poor money management or bad luck, but its effects run much deeper. Mental health professionals frequently see financial hardships as a chronic stressor that undermines a person's sense of safety and control over their future. Imagine someone living paycheck to paycheck, working multiple jobs, yet still struggling to cover essentials. Every day can feel like a high-stakes balancing act. And this constant insecurity breeds a kind of internalized shame and fear, even when the person is doing everything they can. It's this hidden emotional toll, fear, guilt, and shame, that complicates recovery from financial adversity. Practical tools for financial adversity look like budgeting, financial literacy, and planning, which are all vital to restore agency. But equally important is addressing the emotional side, feeling less isolated and releasing the blame that the system, not the individual, is often at fault. Community support groups, therapy, and peer networks can help shift the narrative from personal failure to resilience and resourcefulness in the face of systemic challenges. Last up is social adversity. Social adversity revolves around experiences of exclusion, discrimination, or ongoing disconnection. Mental health professionals frequently encounter this type when working with clients facing racism, homophobia, bullying, domestic conflict, or growing up in environments where love and acceptance were conditional. Now remember, humans are wired for connection, so social adversity chips away at the fundamental need to belong. And over time, this can lead to shame, hypervigilance, and even self-rejection. Consider a queer teenager in a conservative town, repeatedly told their identity is wrong, or a person of color in a workplace where microaggressions are constant. The internalized message is often, "You don't belong here. You aren't enough." Healing requires intentional reconnection, not just with others, but with your authentic self. Finding or building communities that affirm your identity rather than merely tolerate it are critical. Therapy that affirms identity, storytelling, and advocacy can help undo damaging narratives imposed by social adversity. And true healing comes from being seen, understood, and accepted, not just physically near others. So, here's what I want you to take away. Adversity isn't one thing. It's a spectrum of challenges that test our safety, identity, and ability to cope. And the 5 that we went over, emotional, mental, physical, and social adversity, all uniquely shape our nervous systems and mental health. But none of them means you're broken. Remember, adversity is not a personal defect. It's a condition, a context, something you face, not something that defines you. And once you understand the type of adversity you're dealing with, you can start responding in ways that truly support your resilience and growth. If anything in this episode resonated with you, whether it brought up memories, recognition, or even a little relief, don't just brush it off. I want you to sit with it, reflect on it, and if you need support, reach out. Because resilience isn't about going at it alone. It's about finding the right kind of help to move through adversity and come out stronger. I want to thank you for listening to this episode of Therapy by Choice podcast. Don't forget to like and share this podcast and follow us on social media. I'm Robyne Vance. Take good care.